In this example, the manner in which you structure your application and make certain changes, such as correcting a department number, will either set you up for success or failure. Based on this example, deleting all the employees in the purchasing department will eliminate the department itself. If you change the name of the marketing department to advertising, you would need to change the record of each employee in that department. All of this information, although appearing in different rows and columns, is related in some way. Relationships allow us to break down this data, or normalize it, so that we can end up with two tables that have fields that are unique to each. In this layout, we can see that department information has been given its own table, as has employee information. In addition, the employee table has retained the department number field, which will allow it to pull information about the department down to the employee table as needed. In QuickBase, this is known as a reference field, as it refers back to data in another table. When modeling data for an entire application, the steps are the same. However, it may require much more investigation into the business processes and data use requirements to design a data model that works for your client. To give you a better idea of how you might develop a model for a client, we are going to step through the process with this simple use case. Bob has a successful event planning business, but doesn't feel that he's doing as well at managing his expenses. Recently, Bob had a couple of very large events that should have had a much larger profit than what his bank account currently shows. Bob wants to be able to do more of these large events because he knows that the publicity for his business would be great. If he can't get control of his costs, however, he also knows that he'll be stuck doing the catering for the Arts and Crafts Club at the local library. Bob needs a data model design that will allow him to schedule his events, manage work leading up to each event, manage employees working each event, track employee hours, and see an overview of their costs. While we do not have specific data that needs to be tracked, we can assume that, for this example, Bob needs to track only the most basic of information within any table. In order to make this example a bit clearer, however, here are the data points, or fields, that we will be using. While we've identified the individual data points, we still need to group them into efficient data sets or tables, and then identify the relationships needed to meet our client's requirements. Much of this data will easily fall into the various tables, but I'm going to rearrange the fields so that they are properly grouped into their table sets. Now that we've completed this stage, we can see that we have identified 9 distinct tables from just this small number of fields. To accomplish our goal of building an efficient database, however, we still need to connect these tables with their appropriate relationships. In your mind, start developing the table hierarchy to make it easier to move the tables into a layout that will allow you to see the relationships clearly. Now that all of our tables are set in the general area where they will end up, begin to draw in the relationships. First, connect clients to contacts. Clients is going to be the parent table to our contacts table, so you will create an arrow pointing from clients to contacts. Repeat this process for the relationship between contacts and events, and then again for events to tasks, time cards, and expenses. Venues will be the parent table to events, and vendors to expenses. Employees will be the parent to 2 tables, tasks and time cards. With this design, we have not only created a design that is efficient and does not duplicate data between tables, but one that meets or exceeds our clients' needs. This concludes our discussion of the QuickBase structure and basic data modeling. You should now be able to identify the 4 major components of QuickBase, match the major components to their position in the database hierarchy, describe the benefits of a relational database over a spreadsheet, define the key components of data modeling, explain how to model data for a particular use case, and identify the most efficient data model given a use case. Possessing a solid understanding of how to plan and set up a data model that seamlessly translates into a QuickBase application will inevitably help drive success for your clients and in turn for you as a QuickBase developer as you work to build a strong reputation and brand for yourself and your firm as a leading QuickBase solution provider.